Okay, I'm on p59, the last two problems of p59. If you need help with the earlier problems on p59, go back to the videos for the lesson, because those videos go over problems with the exact same directions and explain how to solve those problems. So you may need to do some rewatching, relearning if you didn't understand it the first time, and you definitely need to raise your hand and ask questions if you didn't understand it the first time as well. All right, let's go on to, again, the bottom of p59, and then we'll do the first two problems on p58, or excuse me, p60. So this is p59, and this is the first two problems on p60. And you want to make sure you have some graph paper with you to help visualize the answers as well. All right, a town's post office is located at the point 75 on a coordinate plane. In which quadrant is the post office located? Well, we have a positive and a positive. Our quadrants are quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and then quadrant 4. Quadrant 1 is always going to be positive, positive. Quadrant 2 is negative on the x-axis, positive on the y. Quadrant 3, negative, negative. And quadrant 4 is always going to be positive on the x and negative on the y. So since we have positive, positive, we can see quickly here that it's in coordinate 1. So go ahead and write that in for your answer. It's in, or excuse me, quadrant 1. Okay, number 14, the grocery store is located at a point on a coordinate plane with the same y coordinate as the bank. So the grocery store and the bank have the same y coordinate. Okay, we don't know what that is, but they both have the exact same y. So let's just, since they don't tell us what it is, but we know it's the same, let's go ahead and just put a number in there. Okay, now we can go back and change it if we learn more information, but for right now, just so we can visualize it really well, I'm just going to put a random number in the y coordinate place, but I want them to both be the same because that's what it tells us. It says they have the same y coordinate. So let's pretend they both have a y coordinate of 3, but they have the opposite x coordinate. So let's just pretend, again, I don't know, but I'm going to make sure they're opposites. -2 and 2 are opposites. And then it says the grocery store and the bank are reflections of each other across which axis? Well, their x-axis, or excuse me, their y-axis, remember it's x and then y, x and then y. Their y-axis is the one that's the same, and we learned in the previous videos that whichever coordinate is the same is the one they are reflections along. So these are reflections across the y-axis, and I know that because their y values are the same. So this is actually my answer. Across which axis? The y-axis. All right, let's go down. This is actually number 1. I cut off the number in front, but that's what number it is. In which coordinate does -4 and +15 lie? Well, again, we just look at our coordinates. Where do we have negative, then positive? So I'll let you write that answer in for number 1. Number 2, what are the coordinates of the point 10, -4 if it is reflected across the y? So we have x and y. And since it's reflected across the y, I know my y value needs to be exactly the same, -4, -4, and my x value needs to be the opposite. So I'll let you finish by finding the opposite of 10. The opposite of +10 would be what? All right, if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to raise your hand. See you on the next video.